Chapter 1 of Half Past Bedtime. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Phil Chenevert. Half Past Bedtime by H. Bashford. Chapter 1, Mr Jugg. The name of the town doesn't really matter, but it was a big town in the middle of the country, and the first of these adventures happened to a little girl whose Christian name was Marian. She was only 7 when it happened to her, so that it was rather a young sort of adventure, but the older ones happened later on, and this is the best, perhaps, to begin with. Marian's house was in a street called Peter Street, because there was a church in it called St. Peter's Church, and some people liked this church because it had a great spire soaring up into the sky. But Marian's daddy didn't like spires, because they were so sharp and so slippery. He liked towers better, because the old church towers, he said, were like little laps ready to catch God's blessing. But Marian's daddy was a queer sort of man, and nobody took much notice of what he said. At the other end of Peter Street there was a field in which some people were beginning to build houses, and Marian used to love going into this field to watch the builders at work. But one afternoon she became tired of watching them, and so she climbed over a gate into the next field. Here the grass was so tall that it tickled Marian's chin. There were great daisies in it, taller than the grass, and they looked into Marian's eyes. They had calm faces, like Marian's mummy's Nurney's face, and they didn't mind a bit when Marian picked them. There were also buttercups, shiny and fat, like the man in the butcher's shop who was always smiling. This was such a big field that when Marian came to the middle of it, the voices of the builders were quite faint, and the tinkle of their trowels on the edges of the bricks sounded like sheep bells a long way off. When she turned round she could see the roofs of the houses and the tops of the chimneys, and the spires of the churches, all trembly because of the heat, as if they were tired and wanted to lie down. But they couldn't lie down, although they were so much older and bigger and stronger than Marian. "I'd rather be me," thought Marian, and when she had picked a bundle of flowers she lay down in the deep grass. It was so hot that, when once they had become used to her, the stalks of the grasses stood quite still. She could see hundreds and hundreds of them, like trees in a forest or people in church waiting for the anthem. Up in the hills it was different.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?